Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. This is the British Grand Prix in Season 3. Apologies for the break between episodes in this series, but the Apollo 11 video took a very long time. So yeah, that's the reason for that. Anyway, heading into this one we are purchasing the ultimate fuel efficiency upgrade, and we are nearing the maximum of our engine department at this point, but yeah, we'll grab that upgrade and that should be on the car soon. But yeah, with current progress, no upgrades coming on the car for this round, and Red Bull re-overtake us to be the fastest team here at Silverstone. So yeah, that's a shame, but we should still be very competitive. We top out Q1. Jensen Button struggling a little bit down the order, but the field's so close that it changes session by session. But yeah, no real surprises. The Alphas knocked out in Q1 along with the Haas's, the Williams of Nicholas Latifi and the Alpha Tauri of Nobuharu Matsushita. So George Russell in the other Williams doing a good job getting through into Q2. But yeah, Williams have made a bit of progress this season, and they do have the occasional Q2 appearance. So yeah, they are looking fairly decent. Speaking of Q2, as we move into it now, it is raining in this session, so we've gone out early on the slick soft compound tyres, and we will get a lap time in before the track gets too wet. But I imagine these conditions could catch a few people out, and it has. And who did it catch out? Lewis Hamilton, down in 11th position, knocked out in Q1. What a disaster for Hamilton. And the lucky one at getting through is Esteban Ocon. He actually went faster than Jensen Button and Max Verstappen in some of the fastest cars in the field. So great stuff for Esteban. And yeah, that is a surprise to see him into Q3. Into Q3 ourselves then, and we now head towards the end of the session. We're just going to do one flying lap because it was, still a little bit damp on track at the start of this session. But anyway, we'll now go out and set a lap now that the conditions are dry. But unfortunately, I've left it too late. We're not going to have time to get around to the start line. Look in the top right, where there's barely any time left in the session. So yeah, that's on me. I just mistimed that one. Just fast forwarded a bit too much, and yeah, we're out of time as we head through the last corner. So yep, no qualifying time for us in Q3, and we'll be starting down in 10th. That's a mistake we really didn't need to make.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we...
And in my frustration, I just clicked straight through that menu, so we don't even get a good look at the results. So we'll find out when we go to the grid.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Let's not. That was terrible. Let's just go to the race.
Great Britain, then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. Silverstone circuit, then. It's 3.6 miles long and has a total of 18 corners. And, of course, is no stranger to the rain. There won't be any DRS available in these conditions, but the Wellington and Hangar Straights are still good opportunities to tuck into the slipstream and make a pass. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about the Scientist. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Button, Carlos Sainz, and Ricciardo, Mazepin, Ocon, the Scientist, and Lewis Hamilton, Gasly, Norris. They've taken a grid penalty. George Russell and Stroll, Giovinazzi, Fernando Alonso, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Nicholas Latifi, Joe, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, and Marino Sato. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
the points finish last race. Let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Well, the good news is Jenson Button managed to qualify up in 4th, so it would seem we have good pace. It's going to be raining at the start of the race just to add insult to injury for us. So we'll be starting down the field with a lot of spray to contend with. So it's going to be a difficult start. Let's go to the 5 red lights and away we go for the British Grand Prix. Spray immediately, blocking the vision as we head down to turn 1. Absolutely no sighting of the braking points and apexes, and we bowl wide almost immediately. We're just going to cut the corner here and just try to stay out of trouble as we smash a couple of signs into a million pieces there. But we'll try and rejoin the circuit in a safe manner and try and find a place to slot into line, and we do so. We've dropped a couple of spots off the start, but honestly we still have our car intact. So that's always a plus in this kind of weather conditions. So we're down to 12th position from 10th on the grid, but yeah, like I said, I'm not too worried about that. I just want to survive this opening stage of the race while everyone is close together, putting a lot of spray up into the air. Once the cars have spread out, it's a lot easier to contend with, but right now you can see we're just trying to go wherever the train of cars in front of us isn't. And just trying to get some clear view, but as we head into Maggots and Beckett's, it's going to be very tricky to do it through there, and yeah, we'll have to just deal with the spray. But yeah, the vision is not great at the moment, and it's going to be like this for a little while as we have a bit of a moment on the exit, and we might lose another position here as we give a big squeeze on the inside to Lance Stroll, who's trying to make the move. We'll hold the position around the outside just about there as we make it through and get the job done.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
And no damage to the car after we made a bit of contact with Stroll there in that little manoeuvre. But we've survived the first lap, so that is really all we can ask for in these conditions. We'll have a look at the replay of the start. For the front of the field, Max Verstappen got away well from pole position, and he was able to lead the way, but the fight for third was on, and Jenson Button got a very good start, and he challenged Charles Leclerc, and he's going to try and get up the inside into turn 3, and he will he'll stay there, but Leclerc still fighting back, and they're still running side by side as they exit the loop and onto now the Wellington Straight. Are they going to keep this fight going all the way up until they get to the next left-hander, Brooklands? Down the inside goes Charles Leclerc, still trying to keep the fight going, but surely with the inside line now, Button will get through, and he does. And Jenson Button takes third position at his home race, so that is great stuff for Jenson Button. He'll be glad to be running in a podium position, and he can get chasing after the Red Bulls, but there's a big gap to the Red Bulls in front, so he has some work to do. Meanwhile, we're fighting away and trying to chase down the rest of the positions that we lost at the start, and we move our way back past Pierre Gasly and George Russell.
It looks like a virtual safety car is being deployed due to an incident with multiple vehicles being stopped on the track.
But an issue here for Valtteri Bottas. He runs straight into the back of one of the AlphaTauris. It's Nobuharu Matsushita, and bang, there it is. Matsushita clearly with some kind of issue in that car and slowing down along the straight, doing the right thing and not changing his line and just trying to let everyone else go past. But yeah.
Forecast suggests the rain is going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water.
That is not fun for Valtteri Bottas, who found the back of the AlphaTauri. The full safety car was deployed for that one, and
okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap.
Now we're ready to go racing once again. So yeah, we'll see what we can do on the restart, but it's been a very, very bad restart for us, and you can see we're aggressively trying to weave around and generate some form of tyre temperature, because right now we have absolutely none, and we go off-roading again at turn 1, and that we're going to try and rejoin the track, and we don't lose a spot this time. So yeah, it's not too bad for us, but we have no tire temperature, and we're really struggling. This left hand is going to be tricky, and we're sliding a little bit on the exit and off the road, through the grass, around the sign, and we'll keep things under control and get back on. But there goes 2 positions again, Gasly and Russell back past, and we're throwing it into Brooklands to try and make something of it, but we just can't do anything. And with these cold tires, we just cannot compete at the moment. They are getting better though, even right now, so we should be able to be competitive. Maybe onto the next lap we will be back up to speed, but at the moment we are really struggling at them, and it's maybe it just seems now we're starting to get things back under control, and we make the move down the inside of George Russell as we head into the Vale and Club section of the circuit, and we get through on George Russell. A bit of a moment on the exit there, and you can see we're still weaving around a little bit on the straight there, just trying to warm up the tyres. It's very difficult because you can't put any aggressive movement into the steering, because the moment you do, you'll lose control. But down the inside of PA Gasly, we get the move done there, and brings us back up and into the top 10.
You're
So
in P10, that's P10. We're
making
into the points.
steady
Gap to
progress.
car in front is 2.8 seconds.
Our next target is Esteban Ocon, and we should definitely have the pace over the Alpine car.
The car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap form.
So yeah, we'll try our best to chase down Ocon over the next few laps, but there is a gap to close. But as we continue on, we go for the big dive up the inside into our well, what's becoming our favourite opportunity on the circuit to make overtakes into the club section, and we get the move done on Esteban Ocon.
It is 2.2 seconds.
And yeah, we are now trying to chase down the regular top 10 runners in the field. Big dive on Lewis Hamilton, who's stuck behind his teammate at the moment, Nikita Mazepin. Not with the pace, but Hamilton clearly not much better off because he's not been able to make his way past, and we get the job done on Lewis Hamilton. Have to defend it a little bit up towards turn 1, but soon enough we make the move on Nikita Mazepin, and we'll be able to push on and move ourselves further ahead of them throughout this race and closer to the next cars, which begins with Daniel Ricciardo.
Everything's looking good.
And a bit of an off-road moment there as well, as we're still not 100% comfortable in these conditions. It's not too bad, honestly, though. I don't mind the rain at particular circuits, and Silverstone is one of those where I think the rain is not so bad, as long as you don't have too many cars immediately in front of you, and the spray is not too bad. But we have a big gap to Ricciardo.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
And we're continuously asking Jeff about the tyres, because I'm tossing up whether to make another stop for intermediate tyres, and we go for the dive down the inside of Ricciardo and get that one done, and move ourselves up into 6th position now. So making very good progress through the field. Just the 2 Ferraris in front of us now, and we'll be in behind our teammates. So it's now our box lap, so it's now or never in terms of our decision to pit or not onto another set of intermediates. We're halfway through the race, but in the end I decided to come in. We'll match what the cars around us are doing, and the deciding factor really is we don't have anything at all to gain by staying out longer.
You'll be racing on the exit. Exit
now. On the intermediate tyres. We have the pace over the Ferraris. We can overtake them
No more scheduled pit stops.
on pace. And in terms of our teammate and the Red Bulls, they're actually too far ahead. We would not have a chance of catching them even if we didn't make another stop onto intermediates. They could pit and still come out in front of me, the 2 Red Bulls and Jenson Button, who are all line astern on the front of the field at the moment. So yeah, that's the situation as we make the move down the inside of Esteban Ocon into Copse Corner. Ocon with a great switchback though, and now we're running side by side up to Maggotts and Beckett. We're going to let Ocon go there and not make a fight out of that one. Not that we really could. Ocon was just about clear of us as we got in there, but yeah, great scrap with Ocon, and now on the exit of Maggotts and Beckett through Chapel, we'll see if we can make the move towards Stowe as we have a look to the inside. We'll go for the dive, and we'll get the job done on Esteban Ocon and move ourselves up into 7th position, with pit stops still yet to play out for some of our rivals. But that battle would not have done us much good because we needed a clean out lap. We had a chance to undercut Carlos Sainz with that strategy, so we'll see what we can do.
6.1 seconds.
But I don't like the chances of that anymore. So as we head into turn 1, we have a bit of a moment there again, running deep, but no chance of undercutting Sainz as he re-emerges on the circuit away in front of us, and now we have to do the work on track. So through Maggots and Beckett's once again in the spray of Carlos Sainz. We'll see what we can do as he is catching up to one of the back markers. Maybe that can play a part in this battle between us as we are closing up. Now we'll try and get a nice run through here and straighten it up on the exit. Power down. Sainz not too much badly held up by the back marker, but we go for the dive up the inside and we get the move done on Carlos Sainz, and up into 5th position with Charles Leclerc right in front of us now. So we are looking good in this one to get back into the top 4, where I think we realistically belong. So once we get there, we'll see what our pace is like. I don't think there'll be a huge chance of us catching Button and the Red Bulls, but you never know. Let's see what we can do. Little look up the inside of Leclerc, no move to be made, and we will focus our attentions on the final few corners down the inside again, and now we get through on Charles Leclerc and move ourselves up and into 4th position in this one. And you can just see the gap is massive to the top 3. We are not going to catch them, doesn't matter how fast we are.
We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
But just to throw a spanner in the works, it will stop raining soon, so potentially something we can do in terms of strategy there that could play into our hands.
We're right on the crossover.
And now it's the crossover point, no hesitation, straight into the pit lane, and we are going to fire a set of soft tyres onto this car, and we'll see what we can do with those. So into the box we go, slick tyres on, and we are going aggressive on this one. It's actually not that far away from the end of the race.
Speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So we don't actually have a lot of laps to do on these tyres, but we had some brand new sets after our little issue in qualifying, so we're not going to go home with a brand new shiny set of soft tyres ready to go. We might as well use them and see what we can do. I don't know if we'll be able to make up the time, but let's see. It's definitely the grip is definitely okay. It's not great. It's probably not quite the proper crossover point yet.
Stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
But yeah, as we continue through, we get the alert that DRS is now available just at the end of that lap. So maybe we pit a lap early, but now I think we have passed that crossover point, and we don't have the fastest lap at the moment. You can see that we did have it, but it was taken away from us. But on this very lap, we will take it back with 3 purple sectors, and the soft compound tyres are well and truly the ones to be on at this point. But everyone else have left it too late now. There's no point stopping. They've committed to the intermediates for the rest of the race, so we'll see how it plays out for them. But we are rapidly catching up to Hamilton. We're caught by 3-4 seconds on this lap alone. We make the move down the inside, and we get up and into 7th position rather, with 6th place Daniel Ricciardo just up the road.
Great work. That's a new
and another fastest lap for us there, as we continue to push on. More fastest laps coming our way. We are well and truly going to take home that point for this race. But we continue on. A lot of lap cars here. We get very close, and we just about managed to avoid any contact. Dive down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, and a little bit of contact made, but job done nonetheless. And we move ourselves up into 6th position. We're on the final lap of the race now with the DRS open in the slipstream of Carlos Sainz, having looked to the inside. We're going to go down the inside of the Ferrari, and we'll get the job done there. We've got Charles Leclerc in front of us as we head through Luffield, round the outside of Charles Leclerc like it's nothing. He's got no grip on those intermediates. The track's bone dry now as Max Verstappen rounds the final corner and wins the British Grand Prix. Great stuff, Max Verstappen. You can see Sergio Perez in hot pursuit with Jenson Button even closer behind Perez, but not able to do anything there. we're going to come through around the final few corners. It's going to be 4th place for us. We're nowhere near the podium runners, but it's a good recovery drive.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
And those soft tyres at the end were mega fast. Don't know if it was really worth it if we gained or lost time overall, but certainly made the end of the race much more fun.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So it's Max Verstappen who wins the British Grand Prix, 2nd place for Sergio Perez, making it a Red Bull 1-2, and Jenson Button on the podium at his home race.
A championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to the scientist. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, what on earth do we say about that race? It was a pretty good one for us overall. Good recovery from qualifying, and I think we actually maximised what we could have done. We didn't really have the pace that Jenson Button had. I think Button was the fastest car on track today. Honestly, he had better pace than Perez and Verstappen, but just never found a way past. But he was right behind them for the entire race, so definitely showing that we have a very, very strong package here today, but just not able to capitalise on that. But nonetheless, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, Red Bull 1-2, so they did a great job as well. Lando Norris not making it into the points. Fernando Alonso was the lucky one to get in a car that would not regularly be in the top 10. So finally some decent points on the board, or a point on the board for him and Alpine, who now have 1 point in the Constructors' Championship. So yeah, that's good for them that they finally managed to get that. But yeah, as for the Drivers' Championship, we are down to 3rd position, Max Verstappen up to 2nd, as Lewis Hamilton continues to lead the way. That said, the 3 of us are split by just 1 point. Hamilton, 1 point ahead of the 2 of us. Button in 4th, just 6 points away from Hamilton, and then a tie for 5th and 6th between Ricciardo and Perez, 9 points away. Charles Leclerc next, 13 points behind, followed by Carlos Sainz, 24 points. Off the lead, so the top 8 split by less than a race win, so still anyone's game there. As for the Constructors, we continue to lead the way after that result. Red Bull moving themselves up into 2nd, Ferrari up to 3rd, Mercedes down to 4th with that result, and as I mentioned, Alpine getting on the board as well with that point from Fernando Alonso today. So yeah, a decent day in the office for us. And we're well in contention in the drivers, and the Constructors' Championship is still looking very, very good for us, and we lead the way there by a couple of points, 3 points ahead of Red Bull, and then it's a bigger gap to just Ferrari and Mercedes behind, so we're not going to worry about them too much. But anyway, let's move into the interviews.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
Yeah, the car was actually really great in the wet conditions, so yeah, it was good.
Your teammate had a great race today and was rewarded with a podium. Do you have any comments on their performance?
Yeah, they did a really great job, and I honestly think they had the best pace of anyone today, so yeah, hopefully they can deliver an even better result in the coming races when we get more upgrades onto the car. But yeah, they did a really fantastic job today, and made very good use of the car underneath them. So yeah, very, very happy they were able to bring home the result.
What was your teammates' secret to success today?
They drove well. They didn't make a mistake in qualifying like we did.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. So that brings the British Grand Prix weekend to a close. Sergio Perez beating us in the race today and getting a podium. That's not good for our rivalry, but anyway, we'll worry about that when it comes closer to the end of our rivalry. But anyway, a lot of money in the bank now. We'll need to save that because we need to re-sign Jenson Button.
Looking very robust right now. It's time for you to have a think about our profit margin and what areas of the operation might benefit from that money.
Yeah, like I said, we need to save that money because we need to re-sign Jenson Button very soon. Anyway, as for R&D, this episode we're going to purchase a rear downforce upgrade. And we now continue through the timeline until we are interrupted by a durability department event. So it seems two departments both want to use the simulator at the same time, and we don't have enough time for both. So we need to choose between aero and chassis. We are going to go with aero.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
Continuing through the timeline then, and we'll get our weekly resources, and that will actually give us enough resource points to go for another downforce upgrade. We'll get the front downforce upgrade to balance out the rear downforce upgrade that we just purchased, and that will also be on the car in time for the Belgian Grand Prix if we rush it, which we're going to do. We're going to take the risk because we don't have that many races left in this career mode, so I want to get these upgrades onto the car and just hope that they don't fail. And there is a success right there.
We were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell a team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Immediately followed by a failure, so unfortunately we won't have that power unit upgrade heading onto the car for the Belgian Grand Prix. We were, even if we fixed it, we don't have enough resource points to, but even if we did, it wouldn't be on the car in time. So yeah, that's a shame. So we're going to lose out on that one. We head through the timeline again then, and we get that rear downforce upgrade on the car, the ultimate upgrade, so that's huge for us. Now let's just hope the front downforce goes on. We have a season break now, so we'll head to the other side of that. And we are immediately greeted by our marketing department event.
This is an interesting one.
So this is a bit of a funny one. I haven't seen this kind of department event before, but anyway, a famous action movie star and closet F1 fan, Clay Donovan. Never heard of him. Not sure if it's a real person or not. I'm going to have to look that up later. But anyway, is going to be in the area very soon and wants a factory tour. We can spend a large amount of money and give him a big fancy factory tour, and that will massively boost our team acclaim, and we are going to go for it, and we will do that.
Thanks for handling that.
So he's fast forward through the timeline again, and we
come
get our resource points, and that will give us enough to fix that fuel efficiency upgrade that just failed, and that will be on the car in time for the Italian Grand Prix. So we go through the timeline one final time, and then we do get that front downforce upgrade.
Manage our time by organising some team activities.
We don't have team activity to do, Ollie, we did all of them. But anyway, we do get that front downforce upgrade, so that is good. We'll have a balanced car now heading into the Belgian Grand Prix, which is always nice. It's always weird when you have more downforce upgrades on one end of the car than the other, but really looking forward to seeing how it drives with two ultimate aero upgrades going on. That's going to be a huge improvement to the handling, but yeah, that will have to wait until next time. But other than that then, there's not so much else left to cover, so yeah, I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.